right. So, a time where I did not feel that belonged here um, pretty much encompassed a majority of my first semester here on campus. Being a non traditional student, I kind of got in that mindset that I'm like the oldest person surrounded by a bunch of young students. So, in my eyes, that's actually what I saw. I kind of skimmed over the older students and saw the teenagers. Um, and I would sit outside the Lomason Center here and I would watch this group of people. And they were always seemed like they were having a really great time. And I always think to myself, God, I wish I had friends that I could talk to while I was here. Because it gets kind of lonely just sitting by yourself, eating lunch by yourself, pretty much talking to yourself, because there was nobody to talk to. And I would kind of, from the corner of my eye, watch this group of 10, sometimes 15 students, and they always seemed to get along really well. They were always laughing, and I guess I must have looked longingly a little too long, one too many times, because one day, one of the girls that was in that group came over to me and said, maybe you should stop looking at us and just come and talk to us. And at first, I was pretty mortified because I felt like I was being called out. And she grabbed me by the hand and she yanked me up off of the bench I was sitting on. And she walked me over. And the next thing I knew, I was just getting bombarded by introductions. For this is Katie, this is Crystal, this is Jess, this is Tom. And I was just kind of like taken aback a little bit. And at first, I just kind of did what I always do, which is kind of sit back and visualize and listen and kind of look. I've always been like a little bit outsider. And then eventually I started talking. And once I started talking, that was the end of the game. I didn't even shut up, not for 2 seconds. And I discovered that this group that I just really wanted to be involved with was just full of students that ranged from traditional students to a guy in his 60s. It made no difference to them. They found one common characteristic and they just melded with it. And without even trying, so did I. And that made a huge difference in my ability to feel like I belong here. All I needed essentially was the handout to be a part of something that wasn't just me or me going to class, but the actual community that is the University of Montana. And once that happened, I had zero problems talking to people. I stopped worrying essentially about what someone else was going to think about who I was, and discovered that with almost anyone you could meet, you can find some sort of common ground and you can build a friendship from that. And that for me made a huge difference. I went from being the lonely girl sitting on a bench just outside the college campus, wondering to myself, what am I even doing here? Why should I be here? To this year being homecoming ambassador and being on the football field and introduced to 25,000 people. That's a huge difference, as where if I had been told that would be something I would have done when I joined, I probably would have, no, that is not me. I'm too shy for that. No, that would never have done that. And I really contribute that one moment to some of the things that I was able to step outside of my box and feel like I belonged here.